Welcome everyone to the Phoenix Report. I am Jack Connor, and it's been a while since I've done a wrestling pay-per-view review, so I figured I'd get a few of my regulars back. Haven't really talked to these guys in a wrestling context since last spring, since we covered WrestleMania. So it's been a while. I was hoping to do SummerSlam, but stuff got it's hard to do that now. I have a 5-month-old at home, so. As you can tell, I've been a little bit busy, but here we are now for the Fall Classic Survivor Series. Definitely one of the big four pay-per-views. One of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I always enjoy it, and so here we have, of course, one of my regulars, former FCW referee, musician, comedian, Brian Connolly. What's up?
Yo. What's up, dude?
Channeling your best Bob the Love Sponge. I like it. And of course, we have the emperor of food trucks over here, the ultimate impresario of food trucks and entertainment mogul here in Tampa, St. Pete. Also a musician in his own right. Please welcome Mr. Jeremy Gomez.
Biznitz Skiznitch.
That was like double carny. I was trying to figure that out.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm trying to phase myself out of being the food truck guy, man. Well,
I mean,
bro.
Fair enough. That's one aspect of what you do. You're also a music promoter. A frontman.
From now on, I'm just gonna go with the glorious Jeremy Gomez.
You are glorious.
And actually, how about the Ryback gloriously invented Jeremy Gomez?
Oh,
what do you think?
Of course.
We're good. All right, let's go.
All right.
How you doing, guys?
Let's do it. So Survivor Series.
How you doing? Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I'm doing great. Survivor Series was, as you would expect, always controversial with some of the outcomes. Obviously, it's the internet, so we can't be happy about everything. But I mean, I was fine with it, honestly. Like, I have a few issues with the way they build it up. Obviously, every year they do this now because they have both Raw and SmackDown, and they make a big deal out of this battle for brand supremacy. They try to make it into something that's, honestly, in my opinion, is they try to make it sound bigger than what it actually is, and it's exhibition matches, which is cool. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like if they just promoted it as like, oh, here we have some dream matches you don't normally get to see. That to me is enough, but instead they got to make it this like big giant blood feud between, as if brand supremacy is supposed to mean something to the wrestlers. I don't know.
Do they get anything anymore for it? Didn't they used to get like the first pick or something? Or
that's the thing. Like, I don't think they ever have communicated that.
I don't think anything happened.
I was watching SmackDown this week, and like Byron Saxton kind of hinted that their motivation for doing this is that if they're the superior brand, that ideally the wrestlers make more money and that it's bigger opportunities. But again, leading up to the event, I don't feel like that aspect of it was very effectively communicated.
Yeah,
I think the only real thing that was on the line was Kurt Angle's job.
Right.
Pretty much.
If Raw lost, Kurt Angle would have been fired.
Right, and it's like at that point, but like, why should the other wrestlers care unless they really like Kurt? You know what I mean?
That's basically it.
Come on, man! Everybody loves Kurt.
Survivor Series has basically morphed into bragging rights, which was an old pay-per-view that was Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
And they used to give out a trophy, but they don't even do that anymore.
Yeah, there's no trophy anymore either. And I think for a couple of years they did the first draft pick, but I don't even think they do that anymore.
Nope, they don't do that.
Good. Well, I think it was pretty much Kurt's job this year.
Right. No, and I had heard someone suggest this idea for a possible incentive for if you made it where it's like, okay, the winning brand gets picks 16 through 30 in the Royal Rumble, and the losing brand gets the first 15. So
that would be cool.
So it's theoretically that your side has an advantage going into the Royal Rumble of winning it and headlining WrestleMania. That to me at least would be something for that.
I think the Royal Rumble needs help too. The past few years, they've just been randomly throwing in people not even as surprise entrants, just kind of a wasted opportunity.
We had a talk. We had a podcast about that last year. I believe we were both on that. Don't get me started. There was nothing last year.
For the last 5 years, they've always had controversy.
I think it was AJ.
Yeah,
AJ, and that was it. Well, don't get me wrong, fucking great. But
that was a good one. That was a good pick.
No. I was going to say in terms of who won the Rumble. Every year, it's been a big thing where it's they try to put Roman or whoever else,
Roman
or Batista. A couple years ago when the whole thing.
Batista.
Yeah, the whole thing with Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement, and it's they keep repeating that when it's the crowd makes it obvious who they want to win and who they want to headline.
Even Randy Orton won it last year, which is kind of he's already won it before. I need to see somebody new win it this year that's never won it before.
Right.
But that's a whole other subject.
You know what?
I'd like to see Jinder. I want to see Jinder win it, man.
Aiden English.
You
must be a big Aiden English mark.
Cool, we can
just go for something completely random. Sin Cara's got it. How about that?
That guy's a beast.
Right. So I don't know if you guys saw the pre-show for Survivor Series. I kind of skipped over it.
I did. It was long.
But I mean, it didn't seem like any of the matches there were matches where we were super bummed that they weren't on the main show.
Well, there was none of the Raw versus SmackDown matches. It was just kind of Raw versus Raw and SmackDown versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
Always good to see Matt.
Matt Hardy versus Elias.
I think that's two pay-per-views in a row. Matt was the first match of the pre-show, wasn't it?
Right. Well, I mean, it's fairly.
But he doesn't mind.
No, not really. I mean, it's fairly obvious they don't really know what to do with Matt Hardy until Jeff comes back.
Until Broken's secured.
Or until he can be broken, Matt Hardy. Yeah.
Right.
Which should be soon, I think.
You think so?
I think they've got till when next week or something. Somebody else to do the trademarky thing. If not, it's Matt's.
Really, I don't
read up.
I don't even know.
I read
how
a couple
that
days
works,
ago,
but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what the status is with that whole thing.
I don't think they're paying to hold the trademark anymore. I think Impact's getting to the point where
they can't hold on. They can't hold on to anything
or why? What's the point?
Right.
Even I think even they're starting to think, what's the point?
Yeah, maybe. I think it was Ed Nordholm, whoever the guy from Anthem, the head guy, was it's no, it's ours. But then after a while, it's after a while they might cut their losses. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's the thing. They had the three matches there. Elias went over Matt Hardy. Enzo defeated Kalisto.
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh, that was the botched ring in. Oh my God.
What happened there?
Man, obviously the Matt and Elias match went great. They're both studs in the ring, but frickin' I guess the pay-per-view kind of started to me with the Enzo match because it was a championship match. So Kalisto is the first one in, obviously. So he hits the springboard, right? Yeah. Doesn't get all the way over the ropes.
Oh no!
Pretty much lands on his abdomen, and the ropes kind of hanging over like you do when you get placed on the ropes for a move or something like that.
Right.
And kind of has to start shaking it like freaking Edge style and gets himself over.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So by the time he's on the other side of the ring doing his little bouncy pose, he's already laughing at himself.
Right.
That's how that started.
At least he didn't break his neck on the freaking
rope. But it was.
So that's good. I mean,
you gotta watch it.
I would definitely, and it's good that he has a sense of humor about it, because that's and normally that's a really impressive move that he does, on the entrance. So, but I imagine
he missed it by a good 2 feet this time. He was probably just all hyped up,
you can't win him every time, but
he was excited to lose to Enzo.
And then I was surprised with this. I guess Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn wrestled Breezango. So
yeah. I love those guys.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I love the Fashion Files.
Everybody involved in that match was awesome. So it should. I didn't like that being on the pre-show because it was just a fun match. So
I might have to go back and see those. I'm sure that must have been fun. But getting into it, so we opened the show with The Shield versus the New Day. Kind of a dream match there. Two really huge trios. I think this. I think like the Shield was supposed to have their reunion match, I guess, or at the last pay-per-view, but there was that whole thing with Roman being sick with like whatever it was that
meningitis.
That Bray had meningitis, and that's when they had like Kurt take over at the last minute. So it's like now we like finally get the actual like reunion of all three guys and against the New Day, and that was like a really cool match to open it up. What did you guys think about that?
Yeah, that was a fun match. I liked it.
It was solid. I actually like Roman when he's with the rest of them. I'm not the biggest Roman fan.
No, they're doing this. I think they're doing the right thing with putting Roman back with those guys.
It's good again. Everybody likes him again. He's not trying to be the center. He's not the center of attention. He works better.
And honestly, like when they allow him to be himself, I think Roman is pretty good on the mic. Like when he's allowed to just speak naturally. Like there was that segment a few weeks ago where like Stephanie was trying to like ramp them out, and she was be like, "Oh, and Roman, where were you?" And he just like totally like goes into it. It's like, wait a minute, where have you been? Like, you haven't been here since Mania, and all you did was go through a table. Like,
yeah,
I
don't think he has that bravado, though, when he's not with the other two guys, though. I mean, he has a bravado, but it's not really the sarcastic. I think he's still a little young to be as big as they're pushing him right now. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause if you put him in there with Cena, like, legit, he'll start stuttering. Like, he's overwhelmed still, I think. Kind of. But when he's with the other two guys, he kind of melds, and he's kind of got he kind of almost feels the kind of Shield nobody can touch this thing. I think he feels it more when he's with them.
I guess so. I mean, just for me personally, when he's on his own and cutting promos, he just doesn't come off as being a very likable guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't think he feels it. I don't think he believes it.
No.
You know?
And again, it's not his fault that he's in that position. I think he's trying the best he can, but it's not quite working.
I think a couple of years he'll be great. I mean, look at the Miz the first couple of years. He couldn't talk either.
Right.
Now, I mean.
Oh, he used to stutter like crazy.
Yeah, now he kills it. So.
Oh yeah, no, Miz is amazing. We'll definitely get into him, but
yeah, I just like them together.
It's one of those things. Like on paper, it looks like the Shield would like completely dominate the New Day, but like I think like the whole thing is that in the storyline, the New Day has been a cohesive unit for a lot longer than the Shield has, so it kind of evens itself out. But
I would have liked to have seen it to be an elimination match, like the other Survivor Series matches. Like
that would have been cool.
Could have been Big E versus a couple of them at the end.
Yeah.
Speaking of Big E, he had this like crazy dive on the outside. I forget.
He always does. Yeah. Man. He always does that where it makes it look like he's going to kill himself.
Yeah, but like that giant spear, like I was just. And again, I was watching a lot of this on my phone while I was at work, so I wasn't like dissecting each match, but like I was definitely paying attention to it. But that spot in particular, I was just like, holy shit, that was amazing.
Yeah,
it was good, man. The whole match was good.
Dude's a madman.
Big E's another one of those guys. When he first came up or was called up to the main roster, like I wasn't like that high on his like mic work, but like once he joined the New Day, it's like, oh my god, this dude came out of his shell.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, like I thought he was just a generic muscle guy when they first brought him in as like Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard.
He's seen his workout buddy.
Yeah. But like once he joined the New Day, I was like, oh my god, someone put this guy back in his shell. Like he's unbelievable.
he won't stop twerking and grinding and
yeah, that's starting to get funny.
By the way, the favorite thing for me is to like introduce the New Day to friends of mine who aren't wrestling fans and trying to explain to them what the New Day is. It is one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like my buddy Seamus, who's actually one of my regulars on like when I do movie reviews on this show, he's like actually been asking me a lot about WWE lately because he's like, it's like, man, that's like one fandom that sounds like really cool, and he's like, I kind of want to get into that. So like I've been having a lot of fun just kind of explaining to him who everyone is, and he's getting a kick out of it.
I'm still getting ripped on for wrestling being one of the nerdiest things in the world to like, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Right. I've taken girls on first dates to Monday Night Raw, and I never heard from them again. So whatever.
Oh, like I remember. I remember taking this one girl out and like just kind of casually mentioning that like I like wrestling, and she was like, "Oh, you're one of them."
Yeah. My wife
Needless
still
to
does
say,
that.
there weren't too many dates after that. But
Yeah, you did yourself a favor by
The
outing
wife
yourself.
does it now, and she swears she's not a wrestling fan, but she'll get in the storyline every once in a while now, or she'll be singing the songs. I'm like, see, you love him.
Yep.
I know you like Roman Reigns.
What's not
Get
to
over
like?
it.
Yeah, right.
no, my wife is still completely clueless when it comes to that, and I don't think she has any interest whatsoever in it. But that's fine, as long as she's okay. And
You got to have your own things that you like, man. Not everything can be,
exactly,
you know.
and that's fine because amazingly she still lets me touch her every once in a while. So I don't know what
And
that's
proof of that being you have
My
a
wife-
child now.
my
I mean,
wife
I do
digs
have a
the New
child,
Day,
so
it's cool.
it's happened at least once. So
Yeah,
We
good
have-
job.
we have-
You did it.
I've got that going
Sex-
for me, which is
Got a
nice.
sex trophy now.
Right.
It's an expensive trophy.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Anyways, so yeah, the
Wrestling.
Shield won. This is why I'm so glad I had both of you guys on together.
Anyways.
'cause
We can
this
talk.
is great. So then we move on to the women's match, the 5-on-5 match. Team Raw was Alicia Fox, Sasha
Foxy.
Banks, Bayley, Asuka, and Nia Jax. They defeated Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Natalya, and Tamina with Lana in the corner.
Lingering outside the ring.
Yeah, because she and Tamina are still a thing. So
It's
Okay.
Rusev Day, bro. She can do whatever the hell she wants whenever
It's
she wants.
It is.
Rusev Day.
I'm curious, how many days a year are we supposed to observe Rusev Day?
369 and a half, actually.
Wow.
69.
Yeah,
Even more than 365.
you have to
That's
add days to the year for it to
I
be
guess
proper
so.
Rusev
All right.
Day.
Like
Or it's
eight
just
days-
Russian.
8
They
days
just
a
have
week.
extra days. I know.
Yeah, you get to hear Aiden English. So
I'm not
it's
an
a win-win.
idiot. I did that on purpose. Eh?
You mean our next Universal Champion, Aiden English?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking Slater's turn.
Right?
Stop it. It's Slater's turn.
Where's he been? Yeah, where's
He's
he been?
preparing for his Universal title run when he
He's
beats
going.
Brock.
I'm telling you.
He's gonna
He's
go
going all the way.
dude. Yeah.
I mean, if Jinder Mahal can become one of the top guys this year,
Look,
And Drew
everything's on the
McIntyre.
table.
Heath is gonna go for a clean victory over Brock.
I'm telling
Straight
you,
up.
3MB's
Uh,
year.
Hold on. On a Monday night show, Brock is actually going to take a plane, do a Monday night show from Florida, and job clean to Heath.
And we're all going to be
with
there.
a small package finish.
Heath's actually going to do the F5.
SPF. I'm telling you.
Wow.
He's got kids, man.
Do you understand how the crowd would lose their effing mind if that actually
Oh, God, that
went
would be
down?
amazing.
I mean, they lose their effing mind, bro. Like in a good way, though, because everybody would just.
If he beat Brock with the finger poke of doom.
Somebody book that. Oh, man.
Oh,
that'd be-
amazing.
Anyways, let's get back to the match. Sorry, Heath.
Yeah, Becky
No.
was eliminated first for being the team captain.
Was
She got eliminated. She got eliminated within the
Yes.
first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
By damn, I can't even remember who. Do you remember who pinned her now?
Oh no, not at all.
I'm on Wikipedia. It says Bailey with
Yeah?
a roll up. Yep.
Okay, you
God,
got the details on it, but
I can't remember a lot of that match other than Nia finally put her hair back. Thank you.
Nia Jax was counted out.
Yep, she was.
I love the fact that Alicia Fox was the captain.
She is something else.
She's so underrated.
You know what? Yeah, she is very underrated. Like, especially once she started doing that crazy gimmick. Like, no one out crazies Alicia Fox. It's fantastic.
She
That's
doesn't
for
do
sure.
Crazy like everyone else does the crazy. Like she isn't just she isn't Mickey James, AJ crazy. She's,
She seems like she's given free reign to say whatever the hell she wants, which is
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
It's great.
It's got some
It's-
tenure.
It is highly entertaining.
Vince must like her because she does all the tribute to the troops shows and stuff like that. He's got a soft spot in his heart for Alicia Fox.
She's been around for like 10 years. Like
Yeah,
she's-
10 years. She was in FCW when I was there, man. She was
She's got a lot of
Victoria-
tenure now, man.
Victoria Crawford back in the day.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
I
And
just
was she
think she's an
was
okay
she
wrestler.
Was she originally a Diva Search girl?
No, she was one of John Laurinaitis' finds in a bikini mag.
Well, I mean,
Like-
look, God bless her. She's stuck around for this long, and
No, she's doing something right.
I mean, she's a decent hand in the ring. I'm not saying she's like the greatest ever, but like obviously she's managed to stick around and she knows what she's doing.
I
She
think
got-
she's
she
one
got
of the more
eliminated.
talented of the older wrestler girls that are still around. I think she's one of the more talented ones.
And
She
it's-
didn't come up, she didn't come up through she came up FCW obviously, but not through like what they're doing now. You know, the girls that are coming up now are really good. You know, but for one to be...
But yeah, obviously she does have an experience factor, and I mean, as far as I know, she hasn't had to sleep with Michael Hayes, so that's a win.
I think she sells. I think she sells moves, and I think she moves relatively fast. You know,
Michael Hayes.
That's right. I mean, as far as I know, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So
Michael Hayes. Did you see the thing where somebody asked Wolfgang? He looks like you were dressed by Michael Hayes, and Wolfgang's like, yeah, that's exactly what happened not like an hour ago.
He's like, yep, that's what I was going for.
No, like literally, somebody asked him if Michael Hayes dressed him, and he really dressed him.
Oh wow!
Like, honestly, it was hysterical. You have to hear it, I guess. That was a horrible setup.
Was it Corey Graves who made that joke? Probably.
No, it was.
It sounds like it's something he would say.
Was it Nigel? I think it was Nigel.
Maybe.
We're not talking about NXT. We're not allowed to. It's too good. Triple H would want us to talk about NXT.
It's too good.
That's true. I don't even know if that makes sense, but we'll go with it.
Are we done with the girls match yet? Because
I think so. Yeah, Team Raw won.
Yeah.
And so we had
2 in a row for Raw.
Yeah.
I like how they're keeping track of who. That kind of ruined it though.
What?
When they're keeping score because they were saying how Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles was gonna be the tiebreaker. Yeah, and it's kind of let you know that that Team Raw was gonna win.
I mean, it made it interesting.
Obviously.
So it's
Yeah. You guys are up 1. That means nothing, but okay.
Yeah.
Kurt keeps his
job.
job.
Added a little bit of suspense throughout the show. So, then we had Baron Corbin and The Miz. That was interesting. I was curious how the crowd was going to react because that's like the first like heel versus heel match that we had.
Yeah, that was an interesting booking decision.
So
that wasn't my favorite match on the card.
I mean, they definitely. I mean, both of those guys are really good talkers. So I mean, they both sold it pretty well through the Twitter stuff.
Corbin's gotten a lot better for sure.
Yeah, he's picking it up lately.
I've always been impressed with Corbin on the mic, especially when Talking Smack was out every week, because he would go on there and let's be honest. I mean, his character was like every like cocky jock you met in high school who played on the football team who thought he was the shit.
I think it's just him.
Right. I mean, or at least that's people's perception of him, and he's been taking that and like.
Is he a former football player? What's his deal?
Yeah, he did play pro football, but I mean, I've heard him like be in interviews and shoot interviews and say that like, look, I wasn't on the indie scene, but I always was a fan of wrestling. So
yeah. He's really freaking weird in real life too, man. He buys like occult stuff and goes to occult stores. He's like, I've seen
him at metal shows. I saw him at the band Ghost. I saw him at in the crowd at the concert.
He was backstage of Seven Dust with God, who else was there? He was with Bray and Bo at Seven Dust not too long ago too. So
nice.
He's a big metalhead, and he goes to a lot of local shows.
He used to date Maria Brink from In This Moment.
Oh man, really?
She's hot as hell. I think they were engaged at one point.
Wow.
Maybe he'll come see Vertebreaker one night.
If only. You never know.
Dude, you guys opened for Steel Panther recently.
We did. We sure did. Scott Phillips from Alter Bridge was actually in the crowd for that.
That's at least worth it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I got to talk to him afterwards.
And Mark.
You starting up a side project with Mark Tremonti yet?
It's at this point, this joke may actually come true. So
I know. It's been a long-standing joke between the two of us that you're starting a side project.
Now I actually know Scott Phillips, so that's pretty.
I know, man. Good for you. You're killing it.
So I mean, I'm going to see Alter Bridge this Friday. So who knows?
Get some interviews.
Anyways, back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh god, this barely is a podcast at this point. I love it.
We love it.
This is so great. So somewhere Corey is going insane right now.
Well, we're doing a slow build, man. We're doing
Corey. I'm bummed Corey couldn't join us.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't too happy with this pay-per-view.
Shout out to C-Dub.
Right? Yeah, our buddy. We love Corey. But yeah, so Baron ended up going over, which I guess I wasn't that surprised by. I mean, it doesn't really hurt the Miz at all.
It's non-title, so
yeah.
Well, they knew he was leaving anyway, so there was really no point of him going over at all that match.
Yeah, the Miz has to film the Marine 74.
Yeah, something.
Really, is that why you dropped the title to Roman?
That's the word. That's the word on the sheets.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's going to be in the next Marine movie with Shawn Michaels and Becky Lynch.
No kidding.
He was flashing set photos all over Twitter today. He's already started.
Oh, there you go.
I love how the Marine has basically become like the Expendables of WWE.
Yes, I thought that was round 12 or whatever, but
because that's
12 rounds.
12 rounds. No, but
there's 13 rounds also, and I think there's a 14 rounds too, isn't there?
There could be.
I mean,
yeah.
there should be, but but I mean that's how the whole Miztourage thing happened, because in one of the Marine movies, Bo and Curtis were in there, and I think Naomi and Slater were in there too.
Yeah,
I've not seen any of the Marine movies.
No, neither have I,
DiBiase was one of them too.
Yeah, Ted Jr. was in the second one, I think.
Oh, Teddy boy.
Yep.
He was like the lead in that one.
Yeah, Maurice is in the last one.
Summer Rae was in.
Or Summer was in one, or something like that.
That's
He's
right.
Gone. She'll
She's
be on TNA next week.
Yeah, so Baron ended up winning that, and then immediately after that we have like another heel versus heel, the tag team match with the Usos versus Sheamus and Cesaro.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Great match. I mean, I'm still not sure if the Usos are supposed to be baby faces or heels right now.
I don't.
They're heels that get cheered.
Yeah.
I don't even care because they're like smoking right now.
They're the greatest team on SmackDown right now.
Yeah, no, they're great. I mean, especially. I mean,
hold on. No. I gotta disagree with that. Them being the greatest team on SmackDown right now. I have a new favorite team on SmackDown.
Bludgeon
and
Brothers?
guess who it is?
Sami Zayn and KO?
Bludgeon Brothers.
No, really?
Dude,
really?
They looked so fucking good last night when they came out, dude. They were like...
That was a quick squash match.
It was quick, but it was a good squash match. It was they like looked good for a while. And I've never been big on Rowan before at all, but even Rowan was like a little faster.
At least they finally got tights. They got like matching outfits. They're not just wearing wife beaters and jeans.
Did you notice how freaking ripped Harper looked?
Yeah, they both look like they kind of like slimmed down a little bit and just bulked up, I guess. But
he's almost in right stuff for him again, man. He's almost Hoover Boy'd out. They're gonna be badass, man. No, but seriously, the Usos are.
It was cool. I thought it was a nice. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, but it looked like a nice sort of fresh coat of paint on Harper and Rowan. So.
A gimmick. I'm not so hot on the gimmick, but they were good, man. They came out good.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, the vignettes were a little goofy, but at least... kind
of a generic entrance. Like, I think the Ascension has a better entrance music.
I do. I love how the Ascension are like, Breezango's sidekicks in the Fashion File stuff. I think it's great.
Yeah. Something for all them to do.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're having fun, and
that's good though.
It's good stuff, but
it's funny.
But yeah, like I said, another heel versus heel tag team match. The Usos ended up going over.
Oddly enough, I watched last year's Survivor Series, and it came down to the tag team match came down to the Usos versus Cesaro and Sheamus. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It is kind of cool how they've really run with Sheamus and Cesaro as a tag team. I mean,
three-time champs now.
I mean, it's pretty incredible, like how much they've stuck with that as far as because
now they're the bar.
And it was kind of cool to see how that evolved, because originally they hated each other. They had the series of matches, but then they were like the tag team that hated each other, and now they're like best friends. And
they look good together too. They look like a team.
It was a good build.
It was cool. I mean, in terms of like having a slow build for that tag team and establishing those characters, then it was a cool like story arc, I thought.
It was an old school build tag team.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I dug it.
I mean, eventually
Mick Foley to thank for that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I hope they don't fuck it up and turn them too quick,
Yeah.
Yeah. In typical WWE fashion.
Yeah, before they should, but it's good that we got to see them.
So then we had Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I mean, like they weren't lying. Like 2017 has really been Alexa Bliss's year. Like
she's so tiny. She's such a small little package. She packs a big wallop.
I mean, I gotta tell you, like, in terms of the women's division, she's got to be like one of the best talkers in the women's division right now.
Yeah, she's really good on the mic.
She is a fantastic heel, and like, considering that she didn't really have all that much to do in NXT, like once they brought her up to the main roster. Say what?
The Sparkles. I remember that.
Well, yeah, no. She had like the little fairy princess gimmick,
the cheerleader fairy princess.
And
Sparkles.
then she was managing Blake and Murphy, who I think she's engaged to one of them, right? To Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, God only knows what those guys are doing, but
Murph.
Yeah. But like she really has like come into her own as a heel, and especially for like someone who didn't have like a background in wrestling. Like she was basically like came from the world of bodybuilding, got signed to NXT, but
yeah, I don't know much about her.
She's cheerleader.
Yeah, I know she was like a cheerleader for years, and I think
cheerleader had a
collegiate level, then did bodybuilding, and
then had some sort of eating disorder that she got real messed up on, and then she decided she wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah, but she
cites Trish Stratus and Rey Mysterio as her influences in wrestling, according to Wikipedia.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, that's not bad, but like yeah, I mean she's a fantastic heel. Like I mean, what more can you say about her?
She's getting to be a better wrestler too, because she's wrestling Mickey and freaking Charlotte and people like that all the damn time now. So she's going to get better. Like,
Why does Mickie James keep referring to her as Biscuit Butt?
Because she's from Virginia and that's something they say there. I don't know.
Because it's the truth.
A biscuit butt. What is Mickie James? What is Mickie James's ass described as?
Perfection.
Yeah. MILF.
Yeah, she's looking nice and milf.
I don't want to get beat up by the big man, by the Albus. I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh, by Magnus. Yeah. Magnus would, you know, Brian, you used to have a joke about Kenny Dykstra when he was.
he must have had a horse cock.
Hey, whatever happened to Kenny Dykstra? Oh yeah.
He came back for a cup of coffee there last year with the Spirit Squad.
Yeah,
he does it every once in a while.
So he's on the
Indies
now.
He was on some kind of reality show too.
Yeah.
Whatever happened? He got the shovel. Hey, whatever happened to that other guy that had the Letterman's jacket and then the long hair? Oh, he got the shovel.
A-Rye, yeah.
well, I just can't see the connection. I can't see the connection anywhere.
Well, let's see. To both of those, John Cena happened.
I can't see the connection.
I need to know that
story.
See
it? I see what you did there.
The connection.
I see what you did there. All right.
Oh, man.
Anywho.
Right. How did Charlotte Flair end with Alexa Bliss? Oh, submission. She tapped out.
Tapped out to the figure eight. Pretty solid match there. Charlotte's coming along as a baby face, especially with...
Charlotte's awesome.
Yeah, with the whole thing. I mean, obviously with the stuff with Rick in real life, his health issues, there's a lot of sympathy there. So, I mean, that definitely lends itself well to, her...
I can't believe she's Flair's daughter, man. She's like a whole other level.
Yeah.
I still don't like Flair's plain faces, but,
Yeah. They're meant to be heels.
Yeah, she's good though, nonetheless. I mean, you can't. She's just good. Doesn't matter what she is. Face or heel.
She just moonsaults and shit. Something Flair never did.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe he was attempting to when he went up to the top all those times.
That was it.
That's what he was going to do.
For it.
He never once landed that move.
Look, the Flair flop is actually a standing moonsault.
I think there was like one time where it's like he actually had like a double axe handle and like Jerry Lawler was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, that actually worked.
I was watching it. It was amazing. The crowd popped their fucking asses off that night, dude. It was. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it before or since.
Yeah, I've never. I
miss Lawler on commentary.
Yeah, he used to be good.
I really do. And I remember he would always say, "It's like Rick, why do you do that? That never works."
God, Booker last night actually said that looked like it really hurt. Or it actually hurt.
Booker is something on commentary, man. That guy's... what is going on?
What is going on with Booker T on commentary? Like,
I don't know, but
if you pay attention to it, he sounds like he has no idea what the fuck is going on.
Graves is hating it, man.
I don't know whether they're doing it on purpose. Is he a heel or babyface? Like, what are you trying to do?
I don't know, man. Yeah, he needs to pick.
Just kind of done whatever he wants, though.
And he used to be really good. Like when he first started doing commentary on SmackDown years ago, I used to really like him a lot. Nowadays, it's just like,
I don't think he cares anymore. Everything he says is Hall of Fame.
He's just phoning this one in.
Hall of Fame. Constantly. By the way, Hall of Fame. And you know what? Hall of Fame.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, I do like that.
It's going to be good.
I think if Graves thought he could take Booker, he might actually throw a punch at Booker, but I think Graves pretty much knows not to do that.
Yeah, he acts like Corey Graves was never a wrestler, too. He's like, you don't know what it's like being in there.
He's like, oh, yeah, I do. But, my brother didn't carry me.
Corey's having a field day with it.
We need to get Stevie Ray on commentary instead of Booker T, man. All you fruit booties out there.
Don't say that out loud, man. If somebody hears you, it could happen.
I love it. I'm gonna scream it from the rooftops.
You know what? You know what I don't like about
baby.
You know what I don't like about Survivor Series and invasions or anything? How come the commentators never go after each other?
I guarantee you, if JBL was still on there, that would have been going on all night. The back.
Plus, we don't need to see Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania ever again. That's why.
That's true.
The coal mine.
I mean, what are we going to have?
Coal miners.
What will we have there? Just Cole verbally sparring with Tom Phillips? Like, come on.
It would just be funny, and then you could have Graves slapping himself because he's on both shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of did that a little bit. They had like a little bit of like back and forth between each other, but it wasn't like over the top.
Byron's getting on him lately more and more about it.
Graves being on Raw and SmackDown kind of ruined it. Like, he couldn't pick a side. He's on both sides.
On everything. They finally have.
Can't do Raw versus SmackDown when he's on both shows.
Yeah.
It just bothered me.
Good for Graves, though. I'm glad he's everywhere.
I'm okay with it.
Culture Shock wasn't really working. I'm glad they gave him some more stuff to do.
Yeah. So yeah, Charlotte won.
Anyways, she did.
She did. Moving on to the main event, one of two main events.
Yeah, then we had Brock versus AJ. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this match.
I thought it was going to be a total squash, man. I thought Brock was just going to suplex City's ass over and over again, but AJ put a hell of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, which obviously AJ bumped his ass off for it, but I was really critical of Brock when he came back, 4 years ago, because he always just came off as being like very stiff and very reckless and like going into business for himself.
That's just how they want him to appear.
Yeah, which I guess that was the point, but I gotta hand it to him, like especially this year, like he's done a great job of selling for guys like Joe and Strowman and AJ in this match.
Yeah, it makes him look like they have a fighting chance.
I think he's a way better wrestler now than he used to be. I think his time his time when he went back to Japan was really good for him. Honestly.
Yeah, no, after his first run with WWE, didn't he wrestle in Japan for a little bit before he left the business?
Yeah, and I think people were beating the hell out of him in Japan, and I think he learned a little bit of respect about why you should sell moves, because I think he was no-selling some moves in Japan, and they were beating the shit out of him.
At one point, it looked like AJ was going to beat him. He was, had me convinced.
I think he likes AJ. He had him in the calf crusher.
Yeah, I think he likes AJ. I think he thinks AJ's tough.
There you go. That's cool. I mean, it's
AJ definitely belongs in WWE, man.
Oh, of course, for a while.
I'm so glad they're treating him like the way we had always hoped he would when he came over there. That they didn't write him off because he came up in the other companies. So I'm glad they recognize that.
Dude, you did that stint not too long ago when he was like in India, then came back and did the show for Raw, and then did the other pay-per-view, and then it was like 4 days in a row he wrestled in 2 different continents.
That's right. I think he was on some international tour, but flew in for the last Raw pay-per-view just because they needed a sub because Bray was out, so they had that. He had that match with Balor.
He was in India. Then he flew in for the pay-per-view in the same day. Then he stayed for Raw the next day, and then he was on SmackDown the day after that.
Yeah.
Guy's a beast.
I think
awesome.
It was a much better match than Brock versus Jinder Mahal would have been. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Definitely.
And I like the fact that there were a few changes coming into the Survivor Series because it made it seem a little more unpredictable.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. So, some of the matches got fixed, especially this one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't see any interference from Jinder in that match, though.
Right.
His match last night at SmackDown was canceled too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Him and AJ were supposed to wrestle at SmackDown. They didn't. So
but I guess they're doing
injured
Clash
or
of Champions.
Yeah, Clash of Champions,
which isn't even going to be broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Starrcade. My bad.
Yeah. They're all these recycled WCW pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Just to piss off Cody.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
And then finally we had the men's 5-on-5 match. Kurt, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H. They ended up going over Team SmackDown, which was Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena.
Yeah. Cena went down quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like kind of surprising,
Kurt Angle eliminated him too, which was cool to see. It was cool to see Kurt and Cena in the same ring together after 15 years ago, Cena's debut.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were upset. A lot of friends of mine were upset because guys like Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura, and Finn Balor and all the younger guys kind of got eliminated while, like Kurt, Braun, and Triple H were like the survivors.
Especially since Nakamura and Bobby Roode got eliminated first by Braun Strowman.
Right. Which
I didn't have a problem with it.
Which, it sucks because, look, I like Nakamura, I like Bobby Roode, but let's be honest, neither of those guys really had like a program coming into it.
Yep.
So, honestly, I'm just glad that they were in the match.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. That in itself was pretty good. So it's like I'm not saying it's like, I don't think that's a sign that they're being buried or they're being squashed or this and that, because it's like they're in the match. Like
I got to see Triple H versus TNA Triple H, so that made me happy.
Right. God, like Bobby Roode is.
They even look the same, bro.
They really do.
He's another one, like him and AJ Styles. I'm glad that they're finally here.
I'm psyched about that. It's awesome.
Yeah, Roode, obviously they're starting him off slow. Like he had the thing with Ziggler for a little bit, but I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't think he was on SmackDown this week.
Ziggler or Bobby Roode?
Bobby Roode got confronted by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
That's right. Yeah. He was one of the. Yep. That's right.
That's it.
I'm glad. I'm glad Owens and Zayn got involved in this one, because I do like the fact that their characters are like the only ones who are saying is like, yo, why should we give a fuck about brand loyalty? Like,
I expected a lot more interference from people like Kane or.
Yeah. I think they just took them getting sent home from Europe and went with it.
Right. Did we ever get like the real story behind that, or I feel like that was just part of the work.
I don't know now if it was a work or if they were setting up the thing. But they did get sent home.
Yeah, but we never figured out why they were sent home, though, were we?
They just said going into business for themselves. Like, what was it? It was something.
Was it like they had a match with the New Day? I think that was the rumor, and then it's like they missed a cue or something.
They didn't come back out. Instead of like going in, they stayed out and like messed with the crowd a little bit.
I call BS on that because it's like they're heels. That's what they're supposed to do.
Well, here's the thing, though. I thought it was a work for a while too, but then when Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were on Twitter messing with each other, and Randy was poking fun of him Randy doesn't frickin' kayfabe at home, bro. I mean, seriously, he ain't gonna start a Twitter war with somebody and like keep character.
Who knows?
So if Randy was picking on him for getting sent home, they probably legitimately got sent home, or they got sent home and nobody in the crew got told that it was part of storyline. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
I don't know, but at any rate, it worked. You know?
Yeah. They're like
cool to see
they're like the top heels on SmackDown right now. Yeah. And it's great. It's great. They're having fun with it.
I don't know if people expected this main event to be just like no eliminations. Just very rarely does a team survive all the way through without nobody being eliminated. But
right.
They have to book it back and forth somewhat.
I think the thing to take away. Yeah, the thing to take away from this is that, if Braun Strowman isn't a full-fledged babyface right now, like he's definitely on his way for that. Like,
yeah, definitely, especially after the ending.
Like,
anytime you're attacking Triple H and the Authority or whatever,
nobody's booing the guy.
I think he's turning into Stone Cold. Not moveset and persona-wise. I think he's just turning into it doesn't matter what he does. Everybody's going to cheer for him.
Pretty much.
I love the guy. He's freaking. I think he's great.
I hated him at first with the Wyatt family, but now
because
I have to enjoy seeing him.
Because he's doing what? He's crushing Roman all the time, so everybody loves him.
Well, I know, Brian. I know you love his theme music.
Yeah, Raw.
Braun smash.
Braun Strowman. His name is still hilarious. To me.
No, it is a ridiculous ring name. What was he saying? He's a brawny strong man.
Yeah, exactly. The monster among men.
Oh God! If I hear a monster among men one more fucking time, like seriously, like they hammer that out. Like, okay, we get it. That's his nickname.
Kane is a monster too. They're two monsters.
He doesn't need the help.
And what is going on with Kane and him? There's just too many.
I think they're gonna end up in a tag team together.
The thing with like Kane and Braun right now is still like the situations they put themselves in each other, like being crushed in the garbage truck and then him coming out. It's just like
in the ambulance.
It's like it's so over the top that it reminds me of like Spy versus Spy in Mad TV.
They're gonna end up in a tag.
Like it's just so over the top to the point of it just being comical right now.
They're the next Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah,
right.
I see it. Well, it's comical, of course, because how long has Kane been like comical though? Kane's always funny, even if he's like, if it's Triple H sleeping with his dead sister, it's still funny.
Katie Vick.
What's up, Katie?
No,
but like I can imagine like the next thing they do is like. It's like Kane leaves Braun in like a building that he sets on fire, and then
Braun walks right out of it without a scratch.
And then it's like all you see is like his hand come out from the rubble. It's like, I'm back. Like
I think maybe they'll do a Halloween Havoc match where they have dueling monster trucks.
Oh God, please.
Halloween Havoc.
And like one will fly off the roof, and I mean, why not? Let's just go for broke at this point.
Bash to the beach.
Yeah, we're assuming not everybody's seen WCW. All these newer fans.
I don't think they have.
Dude, I have 3 words for you. Chamber of Horrors.
Stop.
Oh man, wait, with the electric chair.
Yes.
Not after the House of Horrors match. That was horrible.
Abdullah the Butcher getting electrified.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
Anyway.
You win by putting your opponent in the electric chair.
It was cool to see John Cena and Samoa Joe in the same ring.
It was. I would like to see them have like a program, especially because they started their careers together. That to me, you could draw money with that match.
I think Joe could draw money with any match right now. There's so many dream matchups of Joe and AJ still, and Bobby Roode for that matter. It's ridiculous.
And then somebody explained to me the ending. We might as well just jump to the ending with Triple H pedigreeing Shane McMahon. Or pedigreeing Kurt Angle, so Shane McMahon can. What was the meaning behind that?
Well, I mean, that's. I think it's kind of
$1 million question.
They want to make a big feud between Kurt and Triple H, and somehow Jason Jordan's going to be involved with that.
Right, just there's so many cast of characters is so large.
Yeah, I mean that's what the point.
They even
of
left Jason Jordan getting left. I expected him to interfere too.
Right. Obviously, they're going to turn him heel at some point.
I figured the rest of Fortune was going to come out, and they were just going to start more.
Fortune.
I mean, they already have Nigel in there, so.
Well, fuck not. Nigel was there at the show. Kurt was in the ring. Joe was in the ring. Frickin' Bobby Roode was in the ring too.
They just need to call up
half
Daniels.
The ring was Fortune
And James Storm.
Oh, gosh. Yes, James Storm will be there sooner than later, man.
Yeah,
he just left Impact.
Is he done with Impact now?
Yep. Yeah. I just read that.
Because I mean, he had like a cup of coffee in NXT for a little bit, then went back to Impact, and I guess maybe he's coming back to NXT.
His song sucked, but the 2 matches were awesome.
Gotcha.
I don't remember.
I mean, he left on good terms with Triple H, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Beer money will be coming, bro. I'm telling you.
That would be cool. I mean, the only reason he went back to Impact because they had offered him a better deal than NXT did, so he just took that. So
how do you take a better deal from Impact after you've been there for so long and actually think, hey, This is a better deal.
Yeah, and they're bouncing checks left and right.
Right?
Well, I mean, they must have been paying him more than whatever NXT was, so that's the only reason. I mean, it's got to be that.
I mean, how bad is?
I thought for a second.
Is what's his name show that friggin' Johnny's over there on Impact now?
Yeah, John Morrison. He's over there.
I mean, how? I forget. How do I forget the name of the show? Lucha Underground. I mean, Lucha Underground must be really bad for him to come to Impact as a better deal.
Oh, it's only a matter of time before Rey Mysterio comes in.
He's already in talks with him. He's already in talks with Impact.
Well, I don't think Lucha Underground has like a no compete clause with their contract because they're shot like a TV show.
Are you kidding me? Do you know why what's his name isn't in NXT right now? He's literally Ricochet can't leave Lucha Underground until the season 3 shows are done airing.
Really?
He can't. He's stuck there.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're all locked down pretty hard. Ray was on a different contract.
He'll be in.
It's already the date of his contract. The date of him being able to do other shows has been on his Twitter page forever. He's like counting the days down to when he can actually do work for a different company.
Oh, for sure.
Other than the ones he's already been with forever. He'll be in NXT soon.
Well, I mean, the thing with Morrison is, I mean, they've had him working in AAA for a long time in Mexico. He's like the champ there and working in Impact as well. So
he ain't going to be in AAA anymore because what's her name? Taya done pissed off them too.
Really? I thought that was like Sexy Star who... Or no, that's right. Taya did leave because she had a whole thing with Vampiro.
Well, Taya left because Sexy Star came in and they gave her the belt over Taya or whatever, and then Sexy Star ended up hurting what's-her-face.
Rosemary, yeah.
Yeah, Rosemary. Rosemary's already back, thankfully. She's a beast.
Anyways.
That's what happened in the 5-way.
Anyways, that's your...
I thought for a second Triple H was going to join SmackDown by the way the night ended.
Yeah.
But that's the way they made it look, but instead it was just some kind of weird Vince Russo swerve.
And they didn't even really explain it. I figured he was just going to be like, well, Stephanie wanted me to do it, so I'm her husband, so I did it. And nothing. Right. They didn't do anything. It ended up basically to piss off Braun. But then they're not doing a Triple H Braun match, they're doing a Triple H Angle.
They've got...
I thought they would do Triple H versus Jason Jordan, too.
I mean, they may still do that, but I mean, they've obviously got something in mind, and I think they're just kind of putting it together slowly or just letting it play out. So we'll see how it goes. But I mean, obviously, there's a purpose to all this stuff. I mean, even if we don't see it.
I guess the good thing is nobody predicted that ending. So I guess if nothing else, their booking is unpredictable.
Yeah,
which is people can't complain.
Yeah, they've got that going for them. So. There you go. I mean, that's this is our detailed analysis on Survivor Series.
It's Survivor Series. What do you want? There's not a lot actually that's going to come with Survivor Series.
I gotta say, this has been one of the more fun wrestling podcasts I've done in a while. I mean, yeah, we're calling out all the absurdity, but there isn't a ton of complaining and look. I mean,
because we're still watching it, man.
We are.
It was an okay. Obviously. It was an okay Survivor Series, man. Like I said, nothing really comes out of it. So
I watched the whole event without fast forwarding or I
same.
sat there and I ingested all of it in one sitting.
There you go. Yeah.
It was good to see the pairings. It was good to see people. It was definitely cool to see AJ and Brock. It was
exactly. I mean,
it's a good escape from reality for 3.5 hours.
I mean, even if the whole Raw SmackDown feud is just silly, but I mean, despite that, it's like the matches are so good. It's like I'll look past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that's the point.
It was a good pay-per-view that didn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking forward to the Royal Rumble and then eventually WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So
I'll be looking forward to the next takeover.
Triple H versus Kurt Angle? Is that going to be the WrestleMania match this year?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Even though those two fought 17 years ago all the time.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
It's good to see Kurt back in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt can still go. I don't know for how much longer, but he's still in there.
Man, his knees scare me. They scare me, man. He's always in wrestling stance. So it looks to me like he's got bad legs when it's really just that's the way he stands, man.
I mean, yeah, he was taking bumps and stuff. He's taking all kinds of bumps.
I mean, his neck has to be fused together by like rubber bands and duct tape by now.
Okay, you see how much muscle is around it now, anyways. Guy's like boom.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Cock diesel. I haven't said that in a bit.
Cock diesel.
What?
Means you're a beast, man.
Wow.
Means you're a beast.
Beast incarnate.
Diesel.
Wow, you learn new stuff every day.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyways, that's it for our Survivor Series analysis. What did you guys think? Leave a comment, subscribe, go back and listen to all the other episodes. Jeremy, where can they find you and Generation Entertainment online?
We are at it's Generation Entertainment Florida now on the Facebook, and on the Twitter it is still Gen Ent Florida. And yeah, that's where you can find us, all over the damn place. Or you know what? Just type Generation Entertainment Florida into Google and all our stuff comes up.
Generation Entertainment Florida. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I'll be posting links in the description as well. Brian, you're on Twitter.
At Brain Colony.
Yeah, Brain Colony. Yeah,
it's so much easier to remember.
Sort of a play on words, as it was. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and listening to all this just silliness as we analyze the this latest WWE event. We do cover pro wrestling. We cover movie reviews. Majority of this show is based around music. All three of us are musicians, so that helps as well. And a lot of my guests, are from the music world. Hey, you were still there. You're still there.
Has been.
Yeah, it's all good. Better that than it never was.
Exactly.
That's right.
Embrace the chaos.
For sure. And so you can always check me out. Follow me on Twitter at JackXConnor. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/JackConnorMusic. My band Vertebreakers at facebook.com/VertebreakerBand. I'll leave all the spelling in the description, so don't worry about it. And you can always email me at jackconnorpodcast@gmail.com if you have any suggestions, anything in particular you guys want us to cover on this show, any requests, whatever it is. Keep commenting. Let us know what the deal is. And thank you for Brian and Jeremy. I'm Jack Connor. This has been the Phoenix Report. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.